Hi everyone!
Hello! Today's video is a playthrough of Dice Realms, a game published by Rio Grande Games, who also sponsored this video.
First, we'll spend a few minutes going through the basic rules and the flow of the game, and then we will go through every detail as we play. By the end of this video, we will have gone through every rule there is in the rulebook of Dice Realms.
So let's play!
Okay, so we finished the setup and we are ready to play, but before we get into that, we will go through the basics and the flow of it. In Dice Realms, each player controls a realm that is represented by two identical dice. I say identical because even though they have a different color, the die faces themselves are identical for both dice. Throughout the game, we will be both upgrading our realms by getting more dice and by changing and improving the die faces. Of course, we will also be rolling those dice and getting benefits depending on whatever we roll at any given moment. I'll go through these details as we play though. For now, it's important to know that the game has two main resources that work in different ways. One of them is grain. It is represented by tokens and we take the tokens and spend the tokens into the supply as usual. The other one is coins. Coins do not have tokens. You count the number of coins you have rolled and maybe if you have a coin in your treasury and you spend them immediately with any leftovers going to waste. That's why we don't have the tokens and we can't keep them from one round to the next, with the exception being the one coin in the treasury. If you spend it, you flip the tile to the other side so that you show that the treasury is empty and you can store up to one coin for a future round by flipping the tile again to its other side. We also have two other types of tokens for a total of 3. These are the victory points and these are misery tokens, which I will explain how we get them if we get them. The current supply in the game is only whatever is in the trays. These are out of the game for now, and the game's end is triggered as soon as at least one of those trays is empty and we are forced to use these as supplements. The round during which this happens is the final round of the game. The supplies you see now are exactly counted for 2 players. As far as the die faces go, we have upgrades that are included within the main tray, and these are always present in every game of Dice Realms, but we also have some die faces that are out here as you can see, and these were brought into the game by randomly drawing randomizer tiles like these ones and taking out the die faces that correspond to each tile. There are plenty more randomizer tiles here to choose from, and you can either choose pre-existing combinations or randomly draw from a bag. You can put them in here and randomly draw 5 tiles. So each game will be completely different than the next one. Finally, as you can see here, we have a red die that is the fate die. This one does not belong to any one player, even though one of the players will always roll it. And it works like an event die. Whatever is rolled in the fate die will take effect for the round and will probably be different from one round to the next. With that, we've covered the basics. The flow of the game is, as you can see here in the player aid, we roll the dice, we resolve the fate die, we do some rerolls, collect the resources, upgrade our dice if we can, and then we check if the game's end was triggered. If it was not, we move on to the next round. That should be enough for you to follow along, and of course, as we do everything, we will explain all the details, so by the end of the playthrough you will have all the information and every rule that is included in the rulebook. So let's get started. The first step of each round is to roll the dice, and keep in mind that almost everything within this game can be done simultaneously. You have to do the steps and the phases in order, but within each step all players can pretty much play at the same time. For the sake of this playthrough though, we will take turns doing our moves and choices so that we can explain what we do to you and you can learn the rules as we go. So let's begin by rolling our dice. I will start by rolling the fate die. I will repeat, it is not my die. It works kind of like a first player token, even though the first player is not as important in Dice Realms as it is in other games, but someone has to roll it and it goes back and forth between the players. If something needs to be done in order, we start with the player who has the fate die in front of them, but it is not my die. Okay, we've rolled our dice, we place them in front of us. The fate die has rolled innovation, which means this symbol is the symbol for upgrades, which means that we can later on, in step 3 of the round, take 2 upgrades for free. In order to remember that, we take our marker and place it underneath the 2 here. This marker counts the number of upgrades we have because first we take them and then we resolve them later on. So that's a reminder of how many upgrades we will have at step 3 of the round. Now, as I said, we'll go in order for the sake of the playthrough, so I have rolled these 2 dice, and this one gives me 2 coins, and this one gives me 1 victory point. This is the symbol for victory points. During each round, after resolving the fate die, we can do rerolls. We all get 1 free reroll in each round, and we can also spend reroll tokens to do more if we so wish. I will do my first free reroll to reroll this die because it's too early in the game to start getting victory points. I would rather start building an engine, so I'll take this and reroll it for free. Okay, that's better. This is the symbol for the upgrades, as you saw earlier, so I will leave it as it is, and now Spears can decide if he wants to reroll any of his dice.
I will do exactly the same. I will roll my green die, and I roll 1 point, and I'm not willing to spend my token now, so I will stay as it is.
With that, we can move on to the attacks phase of the first step, but since there were no attacks rolled on the dice, we just skip it. We will probably have attacks in the future, so I will explain how those works when it comes to it. So we are ready to move on to the second step of the first round, which is to collect. I have rolled 1 upgrade, so I will move my marker to 3, and I also have 2 coins. These 2 coins I have to spend immediately or I will lose them. The ways in which I can spend my coins are marked on the treasury tile. So for 1 coin, I could buy a reroll token. For 4 coins, you can buy a set a die token, which is this one. And this, if you can spend it, allows you to choose a face for a die to land on instead of rerolling it. For 2 coins, I can buy 1 more upgrade. For 5 coins and 2 grain, I can buy more dice. And then for 3 coins, I can repair a damaged die face, which is something that I don't think we will encounter in this game, but there are some attacks that can damage each other's die faces and then you replace them with those. And if you want to repair one of those, you have to spend 3 coins or roll something in a die that may be in the game. In any case, I now have 2 coins here and I can spend the 3rd one from the treasury if I want, but I think I will keep this one and spend the 2 coins immediately to buy 1 more upgrade, which I will mark by moving the marker on 4.
Okay, so I will take the upgrade and the 1 victory point. I'm done.
And now we can move on to the 3rd step, which is to spend our upgrades and take different or better die faces for our dice. So let's explain how this works. Our dice, as they are right now, have die faces that come from the bottom row of the tray right here. Each die face has a level, so to speak, that is marked by the dots on the bottom left corner. So this is a level 1 die face, and for example, this one would be a level 2. It has 2 dots at the bottom. Then it jumps up to 4 dots. And there are 2 exceptions within the whole game. One is the temple and another is not in the game currently, is the monument that has more than 4 dots. The dots not only mark the strength of the die face, they also give points at the end of the game if they are on your dice. So upgrading die faces not only gives you better results throughout the game, but it also gives you victory points at the end. And it is not uncommon for those victory points to be more than the ones that you will have collected throughout the game. Now, to upgrade a die face to the next level within the same line, the same type, as you can see here, each one belongs to a different type, you spend 1 upgrade for each dot or level that you go upwards. So for me, to upgrade this face right here, which is this one, with a single dot, to the next one in the same line that has 2 dots, I would have to spend 1 upgrade. If I wanted to go straight from the 1 dot to the 4 dot die face, I would have to spend 3 upgrades. That's only if you stay within the same line. If you want to completely change a line, so if I wanted to change this into one of these, for example, this is called crossgrade, and you have to spend 1 upgrade to simply switch lines. So if I wanted to change this into this, even though they have the same amount of dots, I would have to spend 1 upgrade to simply change the line. Then you can go up as usual. So if I wanted to change this one into this one, I would have to spend 1 upgrade to change the line and then 1 more upgrade to take the extra dot, the extra level of the die face, for a total of 2 upgrades. The same goes for all the die faces that are outside the tray as well. These are just the ones that are always used within the game. These are the ones that were randomly chosen, but they work in exactly the same way. It's also worth noting that the color of the die helps separate the die faces somewhat, but the line of the die is based on the symbol that is on the bottom right. So even though those two are both pinks, they belong in different lines because the symbol on the bottom right corner is different. And this information exists underneath the line within the die face. The upper body is for the rewards you get when you roll the die. So, based on that, and since I have a total of 4 upgrades, I think I will choose to switch this one out, which is a prospector, put it back, and spend 3 upgrades to go straight into the mine, which is the level 4 of the same line. I just popped up the die face with this tool here, and I can just push this inside to replace it. So I've spent 3 upgrades to do that. Also, the tray shows the different lines and the different types of dice right here as a player aid. I have 1 upgrade left. I think that I will switch out one of my serfs, which is this one, to spend 1 upgrade to go straight into the horse fair, which is this one. It also has 1 dot, so I spent 1 upgrade just to change the lines. And now I've spent all my upgrades and I am done.
Okay, so I have 3 upgrades to do. I will swap my 2 prospectors with 1 upgrade each to miners, and now I have 1 extra upgrade, and I will remove the green face, the barony, and take one of these of the horse fair and put it here as a crossgrade. So I'm done.
And if you're wondering about the names, we have a player aid here that goes through all the main lines and also goes through the faces of the fate die and the initial faces on our dice. So that's how we know how each one of those is called. For the rest of them, the names and details about how they work are on the tiles themselves. Now we would have to check if the game ended throughout this round, which it didn't because all the trays are still almost full, and we are ready to move on to round 2. Starting round 2, we pass the fate die to the next player, which now is Spiros, and roll the dice all over again. The winter was rolled in the fate die, and to resolve that, we have to pay 1 grain for each die we have, so it would be 2 for each one of us, and if we didn't have enough to pay for that, we would gain 1 misery token for each grain that we wouldn't be able to pay to the supply. Misery tokens are a countdown towards the end of the game if the tray empties, but they also give negative 2 points at the end of the game for each token that you have. So obviously avoiding that is a good thing. For now, we both paid the 2 grains back into the supply because each of us had 2 dice, and we can move on with our rerolls. Keep in mind that this is always resolved before rerolling and taking whatever is on our dice. So if I was to get any grain from my dice, I wouldn't be able to use that to pay for winter. Winter is paid immediately as soon as it is rolled. So now Spiros has the fate die, so he chooses first whether he wants to reroll or not.
I'm good, I don't want to reroll.
Of course he is. He rolled the 2 die faces that he just upgraded.
Yeah.
And I think I will reroll the 1 victory point because again it's too early for victory points. But of course I rolled the same one again. I will spend my reroll token though for the hopes of getting something better. Nope. Anyway, let's move on.
Bad luck. Okay, so now I'm collecting. And I have 4 coins to collect and 1 grain for each active dice I have show 2 grains. And so now with my 4 coins and this one as a fifth, I will swap this tile. And with my 5 coins and 2 grains, I will buy 1 new die and I will buy this green one.
Oh, going straight for a victory point.
Yes! And that's it.
We should mention that again we skipped the attacks phase because there were no attacks rolls. We keep that in mind, we just moved on to the collect step just because there were no attacks. For me, I have 1 victory point to gain, so I take one of the tokens. And I also have 2 coins, or 3 if I use the one in my treasury, but I will just use the 2 for 1 upgrade. Moving on to the upgrades step of the round, Spiros does not have any upgrades to do, so I only have 1, which I think will be getting rid of a barony to get, I'll go into a horse fair as well. So that's it, I spent my upgrade, the game's end did not come, so moving on to the next round. The fate die comes to me, and we roll the dice. Now Spiros has 3 dice.
No!
I was hoping that winter would be rolled, because now we have to pay 1 grain for each of our dice. I can pay 1 grain, and I will take a misery token.
And I will pay 1 grain and take 2 misery tokens.
So getting more dice obviously gives you more benefits, but it also brings a risk if winter is rolled, especially if it is rolled often. So that was resolved. We can re-roll our dice now. I will re-roll my white die because it has 2 horse fairs on it and a mine. So I have upgraded 3 of the die faces on the white die, so I hope that I can roll something better. I did not. So that's it for me.
There is no reason to roll this one because all phases are the same with 1 victory point. I will roll this one because it has the one phase from the ferry that I might get more grain, and this one. So I will roll this one and get nothing, and I will spend my reroll token and try again and get coins. So that's it for me.
Since he bought the green die, we should have mentioned, as he just did, that the green dice only have a barony on each of the die faces, and the limitation of the green die is that it can only contain green die faces. So whatever happens with as many upgrades it happens, the green die can only stay within this line that has green die faces. This is the Lance line and it only gives victory points. That's why I said earlier that Spiros moved straight into the victory point path. Also, we had at the beginning of the game 3 grey dice available for purchase, as he just did, and 2 green dice. The grey dice are identical to the initial die faces we had on our own dice. The green dice I just explained. Also, the total supply for the grey dice is equal to the number of players plus 1, and the green dice are equal to the number of players. So that's a limited supply as well. So now we move on to the collect step. I have 2 upgrades to collect, so I move my marker up to 2.
And I get 1 victory point, 1 upgrade, and 3 coins. So with my 2 coins I will do 1 more upgrade and flip the treasury with for the rest coin here.
For the upgrades step, I have 2 upgrades to spend, and I think that I will get rid of another barony here. And I will spend 1 upgrade to crossgrade into the fairs, and then 1 more to move up to the trade fair, which when rolled gives 1 upgrade and 1 coin for each active die.
With my 2 upgrades, I think I will remove the last green face from the black die and take the first from the ferry because I need grain. And with my second upgrade, I want to upgrade again the grain and remove the serf and get the farmer. And I'm done.
Moving on to the next round, the fate die changes hands and we roll the dice. The fate die rolled innovation, so we take 2 upgrades for free. I had forgotten to move my marker earlier. I did spend my upgrades. So now it goes back to 2. And then Spiros decides if he wants to reroll any of his dice.
I don't see any attack here, so I will reroll this one because it has a shield icon here. I don't need it at the moment, so I will roll that one.
We haven't explained how attacks work. The shield icons protect you from attacks, which for now is not necessary. I did roll one of my mines, so that's great. I think there are better options. I would like some grain as well, so I will reroll the black die for free. I did not get any grain.
Time to collect. I get 1 victory point, 1 upgrade, and 3 coins that I will spend for 1 upgrade and 1 reroll token. And that's it.
I get 1 reroll token because that's what this symbol means. So I collect that. And then I have 6 or 7 coins in total. That would be enough to buy an extra die, but I don't have the 2 grain to spend, and I would risk if a winter is rolled. So with that in mind, I will spend the 6 coins for 3 upgrades.
Okay, time for the upgrades now. I have 4 to spend, to use. I still need grain, so I think I will change this face with the fairy one as a crossgrade, 1 upgrade, and I think I will go for the planter with the 3 extra upgrades from 1 to 4. And I'm done.
I have 5 upgrades to spend, and I think it's about time, because I both need grain and I would like Spiros to not have grain. I will give up one of my tinkers and crossgrade into a grain robber, which is 1 for the crossgrade and 1 for the level up, so a total of 2 upgrades. And then I will do that again with 2 more upgrades.
Nice.
Finally, I have 1 upgrade to spend, which will be one of the other tinkers into a smith, just because I got rid of my other 2 tinkers. And that's the final upgrade for me. Starting the next round, I take the fate die and we roll our dice. Winter was rolled, which means that since neither of us has any grain to pay for the dice they have, we will take misery tokens. I take 2, and Spiros will get the final 3. This does not trigger the game's end because we did not use any of the set aside 10 tiles. If we are forced to spend some of them in the next round, then maybe the game will end, but we'll see how that will go. For now, we resolved the fate die, we don't have any attacks, so we are moving on to reroll if we want to. This one is a nice roll. Obviously, I have rolled one of my upgraded faces, but I really need some grain, so I will reroll this die instead of the black one. Nice. I will not spend my reroll token to reroll again, so Spiros can decide if he wants to reroll now.
I was about to reroll this one, the tower die, but now that Murto has an attack, I will stay as it is, and I won't reroll.
Okay, so this is the first attack we have in the game. Attack die faces are either completely red, like these ones, that could have entered the game if we had drawn one of the corresponding randomizer tiles. They are not in the game right now. Or are white die faces with the red square underneath. So this is an attack. The fate die also has an attack die face, which targets all players, but when a player rolls an attack, it targets every other player within the game. So in this occasion here, we would resolve the attack, which would be for Spiros to lose 2 grain, which he didn't have, and for each grain that he couldn't lose, he would get misery points. But with his shield on the great die, he defends against the attack and does not have to resolve this. So that's the attack done, and we move on to the collect phase. I do have 1 upgrade gained from this die, and then from this one, even though the attack did not go through, it doesn't matter, I still gain 3 grain and 1 coin. So 3 grain, which is nice. in case winter is rolled again, and 1 coin which, together with the coin from the treasury, I will use to gain 1 more upgrade.
So it's me now. I get 1 VP, victory point, and I get 1 gray from that die and 3 grain from that die because I get 1 gray for each active die, so an extra 3. So I think I'm safe for the next winter. And I have 2 coins, 1, 2 for 1 upgrade.
Nice. For the upgrade phase, I have 2 upgrades to spend, and because we got a lot of misery tokens, I think that I will get rid of one of my basic die faces, maybe on the black die this time around. Yeah, I will get rid of the Tinker and crossgrade and upgrade it into an almshouse. That die face lets me get rid of a misery token if I roll it, and this symbol means that I get to re-roll the die as soon as I resolve it. So if I roll this die face, I will get rid of one of the misery tokens and then I will roll the die again. If I roll the same die face, I will do that all over again until I end up in a die face that does not have the reroll symbol on it. Because of that, this die face is also limited to 1 per die, so I cannot fill a whole die with those and keep rerolling forever. You can only place 1 of these on each of your dice. If more than 1 such die face was present within the game, you can have 1 of each type on a single die. They don't limit each other if they are different, but you could only have 1 almshouse in each dice. So there is that, my 2 upgrades spent.
I have only 1 upgrade and I wish I could do the same, but I think I will try to make more upgrades to do that in the future, so I will remove the Tinker for a Smith. And that's it.
The game's end was not triggered, so we move on to the next round. What was the roll? Oh, innovation. So you get 2 free upgrades again.
Great.
From the fate die, that was. And then Spears decides if he wants to reroll anything.
I will try to risk 1 reroll here, because I think I will get more grains with that one. And let's see what this with the black die. And I will stay as it is.
Nice. I think I will reroll this one because I have the reroll face on it and some nice things, so hopefully we'll get something better. And I also got this one. I'll keep my reroll token for now, honestly. I don't mind some grain, even though the shield goes to waste, the rest of it is okay, so I'm satisfied with that.
Collecting phase, I get 1 victory point, 1 grain from this one, and 3 from this one. I think I'm safe now, and get 2 coins for 1 upgrade.
Nice. I get 1 reroll token from this, 1 grain from the gray tower die face, and then I have 5 coins total, which I'm kind of scared to spend on an extra die, even though I want it. I will hold off for now. I'll just get 2 more upgrades with 4 coins and bank 1 for the future. So I have a total of 4 upgrades here.
And for upgrades, I think I'm good now with a grain. I will upgrade the 2 phases from the fair in the next level to get some coins and some upgrades with my 2 upgrades here, and upgrading the Tinker with the Smith. 3 upgrades to have more upgrades in the future.
This is looking too good for Spears, I think. I have 4 upgrades here, and I'm not sure what should be the next step. I think I would like to get 1 more almshouse or grain robber, but I don't think I want to remove anything from my white die. So instead, I think that I will upgrade my smith to a workshop to get some extra coins together with the upgrades. And then I will also upgrade the miner to a mine to see if the reroll tokens can start working. So that was 2 plus 2, 4 upgrades for me. The game's end did not come, so we move on to the next round. The fate die rolled Good Harvest. This means that any die face that produces grain for this round will produce one more. With that being said, I think that I would happily keep these two faces because I would like to buy more dice, and earlier I got held back because of my lack of grain, so I would like to get some more grain for now.
I see that Mito has an attack again, so I will keep that one. This one doesn't matter, and the 3 coins are okay now, so I will stay as this.
So we resolve the attack, which would be for Spears to lose 2 grain, but he has a defense, so it doesn't go through. And we move on to the collect phase. Because of the Good Harvest, I collect 2 grain from the grey die phase and 4 from this one, for a total of 6. 2. That makes me feel safe as well. And I also gain 2 coins, which I will spend for an upgrade.
With a Good Harvest I get 2 grains, and 4 coins, and another one 5.
No.
I will swap this to the 0 and get another die, and I will take a grey one now and pay the 5 coins and 2 grains. No upgrades at this round.
I would like to have more coins, so I will remove a serf and take a prospector with my 1 upgrade.
I don't have upgrades.
So we move on to the next round.
5 dice to roll.
Yeah. And I only rolled my basic die faces. We rolled a bad harvest on the fate die this time around. This means that, opposite to the Good Harvest, each die face that produces grain for this round produces 1 less, but in addition to that, we can choose to spend 2 grain to gain 1 coin as many times as we wish during the round, like a mini extra action, an exchange. And now it's time for Spears to decide whether he wants to reroll any of his dice or not.
I don't see any attacks from Myrto. I hope.
For now.
Yes. So I will roll that one for free with the same result, and I will roll it again. 2 upgrades. Awesome.
Okay, first I will reroll my black die for free and get nothing useful. Again. Okay, this lets me remove a misery token, and I reroll the die immediately without spending a reroll token. Nice. This is 2 upgrades and 2 coins, which I like very much, but I'm falling behind, so I will spend my other reroll token to get something better on this die, hopefully. I destroyed everything and did not get anything different, so there we go. We didn't have any attacks, so we're moving on to collect.
Okay, I will collect 3 grains from my first die, 1 victory point from the green one, and 3 upgrades here. And I think I will spend 2 grains for 1 more coin, and another 2 grains for another coin to get 2 coins for 1 more upgrade.
That was from the bad harvest on the fate die. I collect... Oh, you should not have collected 3 grains. You only collect 2 because it's a bad harvest.
2, okay, so 1 back.
And for this exact reason, I collect no grain from the grey face here because it's a bad harvest. So I get the 2 upgrades and mark them here. And I have 3 coins, plus 1 from my treasury, 4, plus 1 from 2 grain, 5, and an extra 2 grain to buy finally 1 more die, which is going to be a grey one. And it's time for upgrades.
I think I want to remove those misery tokens, so I will remove from the new grey die the green face and add this one for 2 upgrades, and I think I spent a lot for grain and the coins, so I will upgrade this one with a farmer, and this one, the tinker for the smith, with another 2 on top. So I'm done.
I have 2 upgrades. I think I will remove the barony from the die I just purchased, and I will upgrade it into a grain robber with 2 upgrades, hoping to get more attacks that spears will not be able to defend in the future. Upgrades done, a new round begins. Finally with 3 dice for me. Okay, the fate die rolled an attack, the robber. This attack is different from the grain robber because if it goes through and we cannot defend it with a shield, it makes one of our dice inactive for the round. So you take it aside, you don't lose it for the rest of the game, but it won't be active for the round. With that in mind, I am glad I rolled a shield here, so I will definitely keep that one.
I have that one here too.
I also like this one, and this is the new one, so it doesn't have a lot of upgraded faces, but I think I will risk re-rolling it just in case I roll another attack and I manage to get this through to spears. Which I did not, so I'll keep this roll now.
So me with one shield I'm safe from the attack from the fate dice, so I will roll that one for a chance for a better results.
Oh, nice.
Nice. So I will remove 1 misery token and reroll it again.
Okay.
For 2 coins.
Yeah, it didn't have a lot of upgrades on it, so that's good. Now, moving on to the attack phase. From the fate die, we both managed to defend, so it doesn't do anything. And collecting. I gain 1 grain, 1 + 2, 3 upgrades, and 3 coins in total, which I will spend the 2 for 1 more upgrade, and I will bank 1 for a future round.
Okay, I will get my 1 victory point and 1 grain from here, and I have 6 coins that I will spend for 3 upgrades.
Not going for another die.
Not now.
For the 4 upgrades here, I feel that the fares start getting stronger because we are starting to get more dice. So I will remove 1 of my tinkers from the newly acquired die. I will spend 1 upgrade to change line and 3 to go straight up to the tournament, which if I rolled will give me 2 victory points and 1 upgrade for each active die, which hopefully will be 3. And that was 4 upgrades spent.
Great. With my 3 upgrades, I think I will start fixing and do better this die. Let's go from 1 to 4 dots here. From a tinker to a workshop. And that's it.
The game did not end, so we move on to the next round.
It's my turn to roll the fate die.
A bad harvest
Bad
again.
harvest, yes.
So the die faces produce less grain and we can trade grain for coins. I should let you know that I have an attack rolled here, so keep that in mind if you want to reroll something.
Okay. Of course, I will re-roll the 2 coins. Okay, that's good. Removing 1 more misery token and re-roll again. Let's go for the tower. Tower! No.
Whoops! Nice. So I know that my attack will go through this time around, and honestly I like these 2 die faces here, so I won't reroll anything. So we move on to the attacks. This time the attack goes through because Spears does not have any shield to defend against it, so he immediately loses 2 grain. Nice.
No.
Nice. And we move on to the collect phase. Remember that if a die produces grain, it produces 1 less because of the bad harvest.
Yes. So I collect my 1 victory point. That's working well.
Indeed.
And I have 2 upgrades from this one and 2 coins. 1 upgrade for that one, and 4 coins, and 4 grains, -1 from the bad harvest, 3 grain, and 2 coins. So I have 2, and 4, 6, and 2, 8 coins.
That's a lot of coins.
And 8 coins for 4 upgrades. So from 3 to 7.
That's a lot of upgrades now, and the dice are starting to get stronger and stronger with every round. I think that the green die would benefit a lot from a steward as well, which lets you upgrade a barony straight into a dukedom without spending any upgrades. So I'm guessing that was the plan when you got the die as well, but there was no time to do it in between. Anyway, I collect 2 grains from the grey die here because of the bad harvest. 2 reroll tokens for the future. And the total of 9 coins plus 1 here, I could have 10. And I think I will spend 5 of them and 2 grain. At this point, I think I will also choose a green die. It seems to be working quite well over there. And with the rest 5 coins, honestly, I think I'll go all in and spend another 2 grain to get the final die, because I think I'm way far behind. That's the feeling I get, and I would like to make up for that, maybe, towards the end of the game. So now there are no more dice to be purchased, and that's all we will have until the end of the game. So maybe that will make the difference.
Let's see. So I have 7 upgrades, and I think I will try to upgrade that one.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you remember that you could spend grain for
Yes,
coins?
I don't know now because I have 4 dice.
Okay.
Play safe with 8 grains for 2 winters.
Yes.
And I will remove that one and get the steward with
Of course.
2 upgrades, so from 7 to 5.
That was 1 to crossgrade and 1 because it's a level 2 die face here.
And I think I will upgrade that one from the fair with 2 more upgrades. Is that one? Go to 3, and I will upgrade the grey one with 3 dots, 3 upgrades.
Into a city. Nice, more victory points. Also, I guess it was implied at the beginning, but as I said, the fate die does not belong to anyone, and it cannot be swapped out or upgraded or bought by anyone. It's just a neutral die. There are some randomizer tiles that could potentially change one of the die faces of the fate die, but that would happen at the beginning of the game and it would stay like that for the rest of the game. We cannot change the die faces of the fate die under any circumstances. In any case, Spears is done with his upgrades. Yes. The game did not end, so we move on to the next round. I'll need a bit of extra space here to roll my 5 dice together with the fate die.
Okay.
Oh, a winter was rolled. I don't think I'm happy about that, to be honest. And a lot of shields over here. So I have to spend all 5 grain.
4 for me.
To pay 1 grain for each die that we have because the winter was rolled. And now I'm out of grain and I need to see what I'm going to do about it. First of all, this die is filled with the same die face everywhere, so it's not worth rerolling. The rest of them I will have to check. The white die definitely has better faces, so I will try to reroll this. Okay, that's nice. That's an attack.
No, it's not nice.
And it gives me grain, so I like that. This does not have any upgrades yet, I don't think, so I will spend a reroll token to reroll this one, just in case I get something better. And I'm quite happy with that, because I would like to have enough grain for another winter, and I think that's enough.
Now I need to defend. I have only the free reroll, and I will try with the black die. Come on.
Nice.
No.
So we resolve the attack. That goes towards Spears, and he loses 2 grain because he did not defend against it. Now I could potentially corner him. With the attack done, we collect 1 victory point from the green die. I will give change. And then we have 1 upgrade, 3 plus 2 plus 1, 6 grain, which is nice and gets me ready for another winter. here. And then we have 1, 2, and this one now gives me 1 coin per active die, which is 5 total. So it's a total of 7 coins for me. So I will buy 3 more upgrades for a total of 4 and bank 1 coin for the future.
It's me now. I get the 1 VP, 2 upgrades from that one, 1 upgrade from that one, 2 from the 4th, and I get 2 coins plus 4 from that one, 6 coins for 3 upgrades.
That's a lot of
8.
upgrades. Yes. So I can now upgrade 4 times. I think I would like to start getting a lot of upgrades and start buying some temple die faces. So in my newly acquired grey die, I will get rid of the Tinker and with all 4 upgrades switch up to a tournament here. It gives points, it gives a lot of upgrades now, and I think that the fair now is a very good choice for me because with the 5 dice it gives a lot of resources, whatever that may be.
Okay, let's see if we have 1 dot faces to swap. This one. Okay, let's do that from a tower to a city with 3 upgrades. And let's see if we have 1. Oh, nice one. Okay, let's upgrade crossgrade, I think. This one with 1 upgrade. This one because I have now problem with the a grain.
Indeed.
And let's see that one here. No 1 dots. So I think I need to find reroll tokens. So I will upgrade this one from a miner to a mine with 2 upgrades. And probably do the same with a white die.
Nice. Great. So you take the fate die and we move on to the next round.
Okay, let's roll. Attack.
How many? Because I can defend 4. Okay, we have an attack on the fate die. So keeping that in mind, we decide what we want to reroll.
You would like to reroll not that one, not that one, of course. 3 grains, so I will keep that. I will roll the black one. Okay, grain. Okay.
But you cannot defend, but yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. I can definitely defend here. I just want to see which one I want to reroll first, and I think it's going to be the black one with a free reroll. Okay, not much better, but I'll keep that one, and then I will also reroll my white die with the reroll token. Oh, nice, another attack that will pass through because he does not have any shields. Now, moving on to the attacks. First, we resolve the attack from the fate die. I can defend against it, Spiros cannot, so he has to choose one of his dice and set it aside, make it inactive for the round. Inactive dice, as again, do not get lost from the game, they are only inactive for the round, and there are 3 negative aspects to it. First of all, you do not collect whatever is on the die. Second, you cannot upgrade an inactive die for that specific round. And third, as far as the fairs are concerned, you take less resources because this symbol is, for example, 1 grain for each active die. So the inactive die would not give you resources as far as the fairs are concerned. So now Spiros has to choose one of his dice and set it aside because of the robber that was rolled on the fate die.
So that's a tricky situation now because I have that one, the steward, and it will upgrade one of these faces. So if I go this to inactive, I couldn't upgrade that. So I have to keep these 2, and this one has 3 grain, then this one is the upgrade one, so I will remove that one as inactive.
With that attack getting resolved, we now resolve my attack, which is -2, -2 grain for Spiros. And
now it's the collect, so I get 4 grain, and I think I'm safe for the next winter at the moment.
living on the edge.
Yes. 1 VP from here, and 2 coins for 1 upgrade.
This die face, as I said earlier, allows you to upgrade one of the green die faces, the lands, straight up into a dukedom without spending any upgrades. But since the die face itself is an upgrade, we will resolve it at the upgrade step of the round. So for now, he keeps it aside as the same way we bank the upgrades. That's why he got only 1 victory point from this die instead of first upgrading it and then getting 4 points instead. For me here, I have 1 victory point from this, which, okay, there is one. 3, 4, 5 grain here, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 coins plus 1 in my treasury if I want to use it. So yeah, with a total of 6 coins, I will take 3 upgrades.
Time for upgrades. So I will use that one to upgrade that baron with the 4 dots. And then I have 1 upgrade, and I think I don't have 1 dot faces in the other die, so I will upgrade again the green one. Baron with a county. Let's see.
I would like a steward as well now that I have a green die. So I will remove, I think I have enough grain, so I will remove a serf and with 2 upgrades take a steward as well for 2 upgrades. And then I have 1 more upgrade, and for that I think I will upgrade the prospector into a miner. So that's spent. New round, I take the fate die, Spiros takes back his inactive die. And I rolled a good harvest.
Awesome.
That is awesome for you, but it might push the end of the game if I take all this grain here. In any case, for each die face that gives grain, we take 1 more because of the good harvest. Based on that, we choose whether we want to reroll or not, starting with me. That I definitely like.
And you have an attack.
Yeah, I like the attack, even though I don't really need the grain. I think I will reroll this one because I have enough grain, even though it's a good harvest. I just have enough and I don't necessarily need any more. And that's the free reroll for me.
And I will try to defend the attack from Myrto with the free reroll here. Yes.
Oh,
great.
nice. It worked for once.
Yes.
Okay, so resolving the attack, he defends, so nothing happens from this. And we move on to collect. I have 1 upgrade from this and 1 from this for a total of 2. This I will move down here to remember later. 1 victory point, so I will take change. I will give change. 3 grain, plus 1 because of the good harvest, so 4. And then I have 1 coin for each of my active dice, which is 5, plus 1, 6, for another 3 upgrades for a total of 5.
So it's me. I get 1 reroll token from that one. And keep the coins in my mind. 1 victory point. Another 2 victory points from here. And I get 4 grain and 1 extra from the good harvest, so 5.
Almost empty.
It's
empty, but we didn't spend any of the 10s, so the game's end did not trigger.
So I get 4 coins and 1 more 5 and 3, 8 coins for 4 upgrades.
Okay, first of all, I will use this upgrade to change one of the baronies into a dukedom on the green die, and that's done. And I now have 5 more upgrades, so again, I will take out a serf because I don't need grain anymore. And with 4 of my upgrades, I'll take it straight into a tournament. And then with 1 more upgrade, I will... Actually, why not? I'll change out 1 barony for a county. The game is about to end, I think, so getting some extra points would be nice.
Yes, I think with the 4 upgrades, at the beginning I will change the farmer from here with a crossgrade and take that one with 1 upgrade.
Because it was 2 dots going into 2 dots.
Yes, and upgrading this one, the last 3 upgrades, with the workshop.
A new round begins.
Thank you.
Let's see if it's going to be the last one.
Winter.
Winter. So we get grain back into the supply, so maybe not. I give 5.
Okay, 4.
And that's winter resolved, so you choose whether you want to reroll or not. Ah, yes, I have 2 attacks here.
Yes, I want to roll.
Wise choice.
Okay, I will roll the smallest die. No defense.
And you do have another reroll if you want to.
True. Let's do that. With that one. No.
No. Okay, I don't need the defense, so I will reroll this one. Oh, excellent, with my free reroll. And now we resolve the attacks. Both of them go through, so you give 4 grain back into the supply. Great.
No.
And collect.
Yes, 3 grain from here. Okay, that's good. 1 reroll token. 2 victory points. And 1 victory point from the green one. So I get, and 1 upgrade for each active die, so 4 upgrades. And I have 4 coins for 2 more upgrades.
Nice. I get a total of 3 victory points. So 3.
Another.
Yeah, that's quite a lot in there. And then I get 6 grain from those 2. I have 5 upgrades from this one. And then 5, 6, 7 coins. So I will bank 1 and I'll spend the other 6 for 3 more upgrades for a total of 8.
Nice. Let's see if I have level 1 towers still. Not this one. This one. Yeah, I will upgrade that one to a town to get some defense.
With 1.
With 1 upgrade. So I have 5 more upgrades, and I think I will upgrade that one from the fair with 2 upgrades here, and another 3 upgrades here.
Nice. Also, similarly to the dice we purchased, the die faces are also limited, so there's 1 more tournament left here for any of us to get. I have 8 upgrades total, and I will take out this barony. With 6 upgrades, I will finally get a temple. The temple gives points every time it is rolled, 6 points, and because it has 6 dots at the bottom, it also gives 3 points at the end of the game. So I like this, just in case we get some extra points. And then I have 2 more upgrades to spend. I think I'll go for points at this point of the game. Another barony to a county, and 1 more barony to a county. Focusing on this die, hopefully will now allow me to consistently take more points. That was 2 upgrades gone, and the end of the round. Rolling again. A good harvest was rolled, and I don't currently have any attacks. Oh, that's true, yes. I have some nice points here. Checking for rerolls. I will reroll the black die for free. And I think, was it the same? Yeah, I think it was the same. I don't have any more rerolls.
And probably with that, Mito is going to trigger the endgame with the grain.
I will get 4, so only if you get some as well.
No, we have a good harvest, so you will get...
Ah, that's per die.
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot. Yes, yes. The end game has been triggered, and we know it already since I'm done with the rerolls. So
okay, I will try to roll once with a free roll, the green one, and I hope to get the 4 points. 2 points, okay. And with my reroll token, I will roll that one get nothing.
Reroll tokens and leftover resources are not giving points at the end of the game, but the grain is a tiebreaker. It's just that. Points will only be gained from the upgraded die faces. I was lucky enough to roll these two in this round, and this might actually give me the
Yes.
game if I win.
Probably.
And no attacks, so we move on to collect. I get 10 victory points from those two. So 4, 6, 8, 10. And then I have one upgrade, one grain plus 1 from the good harvest, 2, and that's 5 plus 1, 6 for a total of 8. So at this point we are forced to use one of those tokens, which marks that this is the final round of the game. Since these will be introduced to the game, I can now give 2 and take 10, so that I have gained 8 total. Yeah, that's now in the game. And I also get 2 coins, which I will spend for one more upgrade. At this point, these upgrades don't really matter what type they are, but they do matter because upgraded faces give points at the end of the game.
Time to collect. I get 2 victory points, 2 upgrades, another 2 victory points, so I will give this 8 back.
So that's now
A 10.
a second way that could have triggered the game's end, but it was already done.
4 more upgrades from here,
Oh, nice.
and 2 coins for another upgrade. So I have 5 upgrades.
Okay, and now it's time
7.
for... Oh, 7. Oh, yes, okay. It's time for upgrades. Again, it doesn't matter what we upgrade into, but the die faces with a single dot at the bottom give no points at the end of the game, and the die faces with 2 dots give 1 point. Each 1 point per 2 dots, but not from different die faces. So if I have 2 die faces with a single dot, they would not give me points. We can combine them. So at this point of the game, which is just for getting points, the best I can do is to upgrade single dots to double dots, because it's the most efficient way to take points for the game. And I did it twice for my 2 upgrades.
I will do the same with my 4 faces from the green die.
So upgrading to 4 baronies into 4 counties.
And I have 3 more upgrades. And I don't have 1 dot. I think I don't have 1 dot face at the moment.
Just double check.
Yes. So it will be probably only 1 double upgrade from a 2 dots to a 4 dots.
There is no efficient way to do that.
Yes. And that's it.
With the upgrades done, the 4th step of the round is now activated because the game's end was triggered. The end of this round marks the end of the game, and we go into final scoring. Okay, with the game finished, we now have to score the die faces that we have upgraded, and in order to do that, we have to remove them from the dice. And I will fast forward this step because it's going to be boring to just watch us remove die faces, and we'll be back once everything is removed and sorted. Nice, everything is removed, we are ready to count our points. First of all, we count how many we gained during the game. And for ease of counting, I can swap this out for tens. And then, all these are die faces that are single dots, so none of these give any points. These are with 2 dots each, so they give 1 point each, for a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points here. These are 4 dots each, so 2 points each. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Plus 6 is 20. And the 6 dots here are 3 points. So I have a total of 30, 40, that was 3, 5, 6. 46 points. Minus 4 is 42 points total.
So me, I have 10 points here and 10 points from the single points, 20 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 points. So in total 40, 50, 56, minus 6, 50.
50. So I had 42.
Yes.
And he had 50, so the nice rolls at the final round were not enough to let me catch up.
Good game.
Good game indeed. It looked like I was very far behind at the beginning. I managed to catch up a little, but not all the way to win the game.
I think that this green die that gave me one round, each round 1 point, make the difference.
Maybe,
probably.
yeah. If it was a tie though, I was the clear winner.
Yes, if.
Anyway, that's it. That was the game. We hope you enjoyed the playthrough and we hope we didn't make any mistakes. If we did any, we will make sure to put them in the description and the comments. If you did enjoy the video, leave a thumbs up before you go and of course subscribe for more videos like this. We hope to see you in the next one. Until then, bye.
Bye.